Hey everyone, I've got the nominees from The Young and the Restless, and Y&R led the nominations for the 49th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards with 18 total. They led the pack, and I have with me today all the acting nominees from the show. So we're going to go around here, and then we'll talk to everybody. Alyvia Alyn is with us.
Yay!
At Y&R. Melissa Ordway.
Yay!
Tosha Storey is with us.
Yay!
Bryton James is with us.
Yay!
And in their own Hollywood square, Mishael Morgan and Peter Bergman.
Yay!
And Jason Thompson is here.
Yes, I am.
And Jordi Vilasuso as well.
Hey, Jordy.
Hey.
So thank you all for joining me and celebrating the nominations. Congratulations to each of you. I want to start with Peter. Peter, if I understand this correctly, this is your 23rd nomination?
Whoa.
Yeah, this is my 23rd. I just learned that actually. And as impressive as that sounds, it also means that I lost 20 times.
You won 3 times.
20 times I lost. 20. I'm getting used to it.
But so amazing that it's 23 in your daytime career. Absolutely amazing. You're kind of like the gold standard that everybody wants to achieve. You know, you're the man. And I was wondering, what scenes did you submit this year that landed you the lead actor nomination?
I am so happy about about this nomination because of what I submitted. I do not raise my voice once in this submission. I do not scream and cry. I do not yell at anybody. I do not freak out about anything. It is my favorite thing that soap operas do. Quiet, intimate scenes. And that's what I got nominated with. And I'm thrilled about that.
Amazing. And who was in the scenes with you?
The amazing Mishael Stafford. And yes, apparently there is some chemistry there.
Mishael, you had 2 previous nominations in supporting. This is your first lead.
Yes.
And I believe you're the second Black actress ever to receive a lead actress nomination.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. And the second Morgan.
And the second Morgan.
Yes, second Black
which is
Morgan.
crazy. I did the opposite of Peter. I got all my scenes where I yelled and I cried.
Okay.
Screamed,
Well,
and did
we have
all
to,
that,
we have to do the whole
balance it
spectrum.
out. Yeah.
Was Ptosha in the scenes?
Yes, Tosha was in the scenes with me. That's what made them extra special and amazing because we hit it off right away. We talk about it all the time. She's literally like my mama in real life. She's my stepmom. So it was such an ease to work with her. And so 2 of the scenes were with Tosha, I believe. One of them was with I call him Grandpa Jack, which is the man who played Jack, who played my not Jack.
No,
not
Jack.
Not that Jack.
Grandpa Jack.
But he played my grandfather on the show. And then one of the scenes was with Bryton, where I was emotional about my dad passing or not getting to meet him and him passing before I got to meet him. And then the final one was with Christian, where I just talk about going through that whole process of meeting my family, finding out that my grandfather was involved in my father's death, and then feeling like I got some kind of justice for him.
Amazing. I know a lot of those scenes are pretty brilliant. They're great. They're great. Jason Thompson, 7th Daytime Emmy nomination, previous win in lead actor, and you're in the same category as your on-screen brother.
Yeah, I don't like my chances.
Well, he did lose 20 times.
I lost 20 times.
20 times.
Enough.
Just led the way at losing. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, no, I'm very honored and excited to be there again. It's always fun to be invited.
And what did you submit? What scenes did you go with that spoke to you to enter?
I put a couple scenes in when Billy was trying to show to Adam that he was falling apart and kind of played the game a little bit. And then I added a couple scenes. I added a scene with Peter actually during the Gaines storyline where I come back to the office and he's waiting for me to give me the news that Chance had passed away, and then we get into the other stuff about the game stuff. So kind of pieced it together a little bit, but yeah, it was some fun stuff. I had some good stuff throughout the year, and kind of just pieced together some scenes. Not one full episode that kind of set it all for me.
Right. Was it hard to put the reel together, like to come up with it? Or...
Yeah, it's some of the most challenging. Like that month is kind of a very challenging part of the year. You look at everything, you're kind of, you see yourself, you're like, that doesn't, you know, you get on your head a little bit, then you just kind of put something together. You're like, all right, that's it, send it. So, you know, yeah, it was a little bit more challenging. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was easier. I had the one episode and I just kind of submitted that, kind of like what Peter said. He knew, he felt really good about it. And when you have those scenes or that reel where you feel really good about it, it doesn't matter if you get nominated or not, you feel good about the work. The bonus is, you know, getting the nomination and potentially standing in front of everyone and thanking them, you know, being able to gracefully comment on what it is that we do and say thank you to everyone. But really, when you have that work that you're very proud of, it feels good when you're able to submit that.
Awesome. Bryton, you're showing off too. I think this is your 10th Daytime Emmy nomination. Is that correct?
I think so.
And 2 wins. So there are 8 times you've sat there and 2 wins, right?
2 wins, right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what did you submit and what spoke to you about your scenes?
I can echo what Mr. Bergman said. Actually, this is the first year really where I didn't have anything where I was overly, you know, dramatic or upset or angry or yelling or shouting at anybody, or, you know, some very kind of more grounded scenes. And they were scenes with also with Mishael, talking about Devon being conflicted with his role and his new son Dominic's life, and how he was going to, you know he's a father, but not really be the father in the baby's life. And then there were some scenes earlier in the year when that storyline was kind of starting between me and Brittany that I put in, where we were kind of just putting closing the book on our relationship. And then the scene from the episode that honored Christoph, or Neil, honoring his passing. So I pieced it together a little bit too, but mostly storylines and scenes with Melissa, when she was asking me to be Dominic's donor, or the baby's donor.
What's interesting is you've been nominated 5 times for younger and 5 times for supporting. Is that correct?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just keeps going. Melissa, Ordway, supporting actress nominee, first time nominee. How did it feel when you learned you got nominated? And I know Abby had a year where she was crying a lot. So what did you end up submitting?
I'm the opposite of Peter and Bryton. So everything I submitted.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Abby was very upset this year. She had a lot of things that were really bothering her, a lot of struggles. I ended up submitting, well, first of all, I was shocked to get nominated. I was super honored. It was a really cool experience because most of us were together when we found out that we were nominated, and he went around and said congratulations to Peter and Jason and Mishael and Bryton, and then he walked over to me and he said, and Melissa. I was like, oh my gosh, like I honestly can't believe it. I'm very honored and surprised, but super excited. And I submitted the scenes with Sean Kerrigan, where Abby's trying to find out where Mariah is and where her baby is. And then when Abby found out that Chance was, or when she thought that he was dead. And then a scene with Bryton and Mishael where Abby leaves Dominic in their care while she goes to look for Chance.
There were tears, for sure.
There were tears. Abby was upset this year.
Yeah.
It's been a hard year for Abby.
Alyvia, Alyn, this is your 3rd Daytime Emmy nomination as Faith. How does it feel to get nominated? You're off doing Chucky. You're up in Toronto right now. How does it feel to come back and see everybody right now?
I feel like I want to start crying seeing all your faces. I miss Y&R so much. And it was just really, honestly, a really important nomination this year because it feels like I'm not only getting nominated for the work I did this past year, but it feels like I'm almost getting nominated for all of the work I did my whole life. Because it's like, I mean, I've been on the show since I was 3, and it's just such an honor, and I'm so grateful to the writers for the heavy, important storyline they gave Faith this year.
And tell everybody what was on your submission so they know.
Well, like Abby, Faith had a rough year. She went through a lot. I mean, it was really important to me to play the bullying storyline, the drinking and driving storyline, the consequences of drinking and driving, very relative issues with teenagers. On my reel, it was the scenes where I was getting accused of drinking and driving, and Faith ends up in the hospital in a coma for a few days. And it was a very emotional year with Nick and Sharon, and I had Madison Thompson, who was my friend. It was so lovely to work with. And yeah, I mean, being a child actor in a world of haters I've been in this business my whole life, so getting to play a bullying storyline meant a lot to me. And I'm just really happy I could represent, drinking and driving and these really controversial relative issues.
Very important stuff. Well, congratulations on that. And Tosha Storey, amazing guest performer nominee. And of course, you got to work with Mishael. So tell me about how it was getting nominated and what you submitted.
Yeah, well, unlike most people, this is my first nomination. And so it has just been an honor, and I'm just so happy to be at the table. In terms of Mishael, oh my God, it is just not a gift to an actor is to be able to walk on a set that you know no one, and to get the opportunity to work with first the human being who is a beautiful soul, wonderful spirit. I just have to give you your roses while you live. And then as an actor, you get on set and you meet somebody who is open and available and can dance with you in a scene and so supportive in that way. And so I got lucky because I was able to work with Mishael and play. And we kind of danced together, and I think we made some magic. And I think that's the gift to an actor. And so I was blessed in that way. I am so excited. Most of my scenes were with Ms. Mishael because, of course, my storyline is around her. I'm grateful to the writers who gave us something to play with. And the journey that Naya had to take, when I submitted my tape, I tried to kind of tell the story in support of picking the best scenes I thought they could be. So my scenes were really with first being the defiant Naya, look, my dad is the God of all gods. And so therefore he did nothing wrong. And then to the point where I almost lost my relationship with my newly found daughter because I'm fighting so hard for my father. And so I had some scenes in there of us, combating each other back and forth, which was fire. Thank you, Mishael. And then I transformed into, the struggle, which was to really accept the truth about this man who did this evil. And because of my daughter, Amanda, convincing me, then it was the scene about that. And then the last thing I submitted was I call it our Come to Jesus meeting, where I honor her as my daughter to say, she believed in me, she fought for me, she's so much stronger than I ever was. And I'm just grateful to be in relationship with this newfound daughter. And so it was a lot of crying, there was some shouting, it was all of that. But I was just grateful to be able to play and do with her. And here I am.
Fantastic. Jordy, third Daytime Emmy nomination. It's been 20 years since you won your first one for Outstanding Younger Actor in Guiding Light. And this is your first nomination in supporting. Congratulations. How does it feel to be nominated? And what scenes did you submit? And I think Peter liked the scenes, right?
Peter did like the scenes. You got me all nervous that I might get nominated. It was the scenes when I finally confront Sharon about Adam, and then me confronting Adam. So a lot of screaming, and then having the conversation with Faith about why I'm not at home anymore. So it was a full circle, kind of trying to show all the different colors, but I had like 2 months of a really strong story. So I was grateful for that. And yeah, it worked out. It was good.
Sure did.
Yeah, it worked out. And isn't it interesting that it's 20 years since the win?
it's so funny. 20 years. I got my 10-year anniversary with my wife this year. A lot of decades to celebrate. So I'm just really happy. I'm grateful to be with this great group of people who I love and support. And up there with Bryton. I hope I get a tie with Bryton. That would make it just the icing on the cake.
We were all thrilled to hear about Jordy. We were all thrilled. Because we were together. I was sorry that Jordy wasn't there for that, but everybody was quite pumped about that.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, and Peter, you're such a great, like a rah-rah good cheerleader for daytime in the genre and the actors. And what do you think when you watch Emmy reels and everything? Like, what do you think speaks to you when actors submit and what doesn't work to you?
I'm no different than anyone else. I want to be touched. I want to be moved. I am an actor, so I sometimes look at the job presented to this actor and whether they fulfilled it. But generally speaking, I want to be touched and moved by their work. And it's as simple as that. Yeah.
Right. And you like follow the other shows performers.
I do. Yeah.
You feel it's important to know what everybody's kind of doing, or do you just enjoy the process?
Yeah, I steal stuff all the time. And yeah, I've been in this industry for 42, almost 43 years. Oh, and it would be foolish for me not to know what's going on in the industry that I've been in for 43 years. So yeah, I make it my business. Do I sit at home and watch soap operas? No. I am in my dressing room quite a lot, and I work my way around the dial to see what everyone's doing. And as I said, mostly to steal stuff.
Jason, Bryton, anybody that's won before, what would be your advice to anybody who hasn't won, like on Emmy night, while you're either sitting there or waiting for your name to be called? You know, I know, Jason, yours was virtual when you won, right? You were.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're really not prepared to be sitting in your kitchen table with, on Zoom to find out with a recorded acceptance speech. That was a very surreal, but hey, it was an amazing memory that I will hold dear for the rest of my life. I had a moment to kind of talk to Melissa about it, and I just said, enjoy it. You never know if you're going to get another one. We're kind of back and we're going to be live again. There's going to be interviews like this where you get to celebrate the work and co-stars, and you're going to get dressed up. You're going to do interviews. And then you might just get the chance. You're going to sit there for a second, and until whoever's name is called, you're in the game. And then very quickly, it's either you or it's someone else. And it's like the ship has sailed very, very quickly. But it's just you gotta take it in. And it's just, we're very fortunate to be in this genre, to be working among the people that we do, the cast and crew of all our shows. I mean, this is a genre that we care dearly about. So anytime that we can prop it up, I think it's important, but it's also incredibly important that you personally enjoy it. We work really hard. I think that's the thing, like Peter's kind of commenting on. It's like, we know what goes into these shows. We know the day in, the day out, and it's not easy work. So when you get honored with a nomination like this, you got to really just enjoy it. It's what we all kind of looked in the mirror and talked about when we were kids, and we've practiced these speeches. No matter who you are, we've gone there in our heads, and it's magical to be able to kind of live it a little bit. So
well, I love that because a lot of people always say, oh, it's just great to be nominated, but don't you want to win?
Well, I think of course you want to win, but it is great to be nominated. Yeah. Like that doesn't go away. It is really great to be nominated. Yeah, absolutely. It's incredibly nominated. And I mean, of course you want to win because you feel like you are representing your show as well. Like it's great for us to go up there and represent our network, our studio, our show, our other castmates. And Bryton's been doing this for a long time. I'm sure he'll have some really important advice for people. What would you say, Bryton?
Yes, Bryton. What's your advice? That was my next question.
My advice would be make sure you know what you're going to say when they call your name. If there's ever a chance to get up on stage anywhere and represent yourself and your show, have an idea of what you're going to say. Because the second they do call your name, everything goes out the window. And it feels like a dream. Your body goes in autopilot, and you'll be thanking yourself later that night that you had something prepared.
Jordy, do you remember when you won? What happened when you got up there? What?
Exactly what I just said. The second they called my name, it was a blur. It was a blur, and I was happy that I had prepared something. But yeah, as Jason said, just, enjoy every second of it, especially being back in person. I mean, it's going to be the best party we've had in quite some time.
And Jordy, did you remember, Jordy, when your name was called and what happened? Was it an out of body experience, or were you like in it?
No, I definitely shouted an expletive that began with F, and then I ran upstage, and I actually danced on stage. I was 21, and I just remember I go, if this happens, I'm gonna enjoy it. Like Jason said, just really enjoy it. However, to echo what Bryton said, know what you're gonna say, especially thank the people that are most important in getting you there. I think that's the most important thing. And I did, unfortunately, forget someone who, if it did happen, if I did win, I get on stage, she would be among my first people that I thanked.
I wanted to ask you guys, like, who's the first person you called once? Because Alyvia, who did you call once you found out you were nominated? Who was the initial?
So I actually was in the car with some of my castmates, and I got a call from my mom and a few of my closest friends and family, all screaming. They called me because I didn't see it online yet. So they all called me screaming, and my mom was crying, and I started crying, and I was like, we were all screaming in the car, and I'm surprised that the person that was driving didn't crash. But then we pulled over, and I got to kind of take it in a little bit, but I'm really bad at processing information. So I was just like kind of in shock. And yeah, it was a really, really great moment. And it was just my closest friends and family calling me and screaming and so excited. And it just makes every hard day on set worth it.
Melissa, what about you? This is your first nomination. Who did you call your husband? Like, what happened?
Well, I had my phone on set, so I quickly picked it up really quick. I was like, hey, I was just nominated for a Daytime Emmy. I was like, can't talk right now, but I just want to let you know. And I was actually like, as much as I wanted to tell Justin first, I was pretty bummed because I probably I wanted to tell my parents, because my mom, I grew up watching the Daytime Emmys. Like, that was like the biggest deal in my house. Like, my mom and I would get all ready to, like, we'd get popcorn and we'd watch the show. And my parents were on a flight to LA to come visit me. And so I could not get a hold of them. I was freaking out. So I texted them like 50 million times for when they turned their phone on. And I was like, call me, like, capital letters. And so they thought something was wrong. They called me immediately when their plane landed. They're like, is everything okay? I was like, yes, I just got nominated for a Daytime Emmy. And we were all just really excited.
Amazing. Mishael, what about you? Who did you call? Or
I was trying to remember, because when it happened, when we got the news, we were all on set. So that was amazing, because we just got to kind of take it in with each other and have amazing conversations just about getting nominated in the past, winning, losing a million times. But the first person I told was my husband. Because I didn't have my phone on set, but then I went and I got my phone during a break, and then I texted him, and he was like, "Oh, that's awesome." But he's like, "It's my third one." So he's like, "Okay, let me see you win."
I texted John McCook right away.
Oh,
first thing I did.
Fantastic. Yeah, I talked to him the other night on our live stream, and he was so happy to be nominated. And with you, actually, he mentioned
wonderful actor. He's
a
wonderful actor.
Yeah, Jason, what about you? Who did you call first?
Well, it was actually kind of funny because this is the best thing about what we do is I was actually in the middle of a scene with Peter.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, because COVID kind of changed things, we were somewhat asked to bring our phone onto set, and we haven't lost that. I mean, I could be more professional, but I'm not. And I had my phone in my pocket, and it started buzzing. So in the middle of the scene, I'm like putting my hand in my pocket, shutting my phone off. And then in the middle of our scene, my iPad starts chiming.
I didn't have your full attention in that scene.
Well, I'm working with Mr. Professional, so he didn't even bat an eye, and I'm panicking because my phone's dinging, my iPad's ringing. And then as soon as the scene was done, Matt Cain comes down, and like everyone said, he kind of went around the horn and said congratulations, everybody. And then it dawned on me that was my mom calling me and my brother calling me and everybody else. Everything's dinging in the middle of the scene. So that was, my introductory to everyone kind of trying to congratulate me. But then, we kind of went right back to work, which was really kind of awesome. Like, it was so great to see everybody's face. Like, almost everyone except for a couple people here were on set, and it was really, really cool. And we were all so excited about everyone. And then we found out that we had the most nominations of all the shows. And then, as we do, we went right kind of back to work. And I kind of caught up with people later on in the day. And it's always a fun day when you find these things out. And I didn't know that it was happening that morning. So I was very, very surprised. I didn't really expect it at all. So it was a very fun day of work. We were surrounded by a big group of people and found out we were nominated. So it was great.
Amazing. Bryton, what about you? How'd you find out? Who'd you call first?
After set that day, my mother, of course. It's the first person. It's always the first person that I tell. She was over the moon about it. She always tells me every time those certificates they send you. I don't even know if they still send them to us, but the nomination certificates, she wants me to frame them all. And not for her, she wants me to frame them, so I have them. I'm like, I don't need that. Although I found about in Mr. Bergman's room, he has a wall. If anyone wants to check the 23 nominations.
I'd like to clarify that, a wall in my bathroom.
That's right. But it has inspired me that I may try and maybe begin a small wall.
Tosha, who did you call?
So I was walking, doing my daily walk, and Matt called me and said, congratulations. I was like, oh my God. So then I called my mom, and like Melissa, this is a full circle thing, because growing up, I mean, we couldn't talk when Young and the Restless was on. It's like, everybody sit down, shut up, we're watching. You know what I mean? So when I called her, she just cried, and we cried together because it's like her favorite show, and here it is, and I'm on it. And not only am I on it, there's icing on the cake is that I'm nominated for an Emmy. So she was just elated. And then I immediately called my son, who's also in this industry, and we cried, and he was like, "Ma, I know the journey." We just had a moment. So I celebrated with my mom and my son.
Awesome. Jordy,
amazing.
Who did you call?
The first person who was, my wife happened to be next to me. She had no idea that they were announcing the nominations. I kept it secret for a while. And she was the first person who knew, and she's like, "How could you not tell me that they were announcing it today?" I was like, babe, I just didn't want to deal with it. And then, I called my dad. Called my mom. They were so happy. They were so grateful. It was really, really, really nice. Really great.
It's so amazing. Everybody, I hear mom a lot in this conversation. People called their moms, which is so amazing that we still call mom, right? We still want to share our joys and our successes with our moms. It always seems, or dads, or whatever it is, it seems I would do the same thing. When my mom was alive, I'd call my mom, right? So there's always
she was the second person I called. I called my mom too. I never told anybody that he called me. Yes, I called my mom.
Now, what about those that have Bryton, Peter, and Jason? Where do you keep your Emmys?
My Emmys are all in one place in an office on a shelf, and pretty good. You'd have to wander around my place for a while before you could find them. Yeah.
So they don't have a spotlight on them.
They don't have a spotlight on them. No.
Okay. Jason, where do you put yours?
We've been in a little bit of transition since I won a couple of years ago, so it doesn't have a place yet, but it's kind of in a little bar setup that we have in the kitchen. The kids kind of grab it and walk around with it every once in a while, and I find it in different places all the time. So it moves around, to be honest.
And Bryton, where are your 2 Emmys?
Mine currently are on a dresser in my room, but that was only up until a year or 2 ago, because my first one my mom had since 2007, and she moved, and we both did some moving, and then I ended up with it again. So hopefully I'll have another one to give back to her.
Jordy, where's yours?
Mine's next to the TV.
Okay.
Missing half a wing. Well, really, man. I don't know where the other wing went. It's a wounded Emmy.
You serious?
It's a wounded Emmy, yeah.
Are you serious? It's missing half a wing?
Yeah. Well, it's missing a quarter of a wing. A quarter.
Christoph, it fell during an earthquake. and got busted up. I haven't heard another story. Of that.
Yeah, mine was in a move.
I think Cynthia Watros, I was on with our nomination show, she also broken wing. Hers got torqued. I think those 80s and 90s Emmys just kind of.
Yeah.
Word to the wise, look out for the wings.
Wait for the wings.
Yeah.
An Emmy, watch the wings. You let that one in. The camaraderie that you guys have at YNR seems to be very special as actors and supporting each other. Can you speak to that, Mishael, about how you guys all support each other and the collaborative nature of this?
Yeah, I think that it's really hard to come on a show like this and work with people every single day and not, I mean, at least it's really hard for me, and not care about them and not support them and be happy for them. Like, I'm so happy that Melissa got this Emmy. She's so deserving of it.
Yes.
And I'm just so happy for everybody. And I think that it's the nature of what we do. We have to be together so often and do so many intimate things with each other and get into very uncomfortable situations with each other. And it builds a bond that I think never goes away. And I think Ali speaks to that too, where she's like, no matter what show she goes on, she still remembers YNR.
And you'll get to go to the ladies' lunch, Mishael, right? With all the nominees.
I heard about this lunch.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
excited.
It'll be Cynthia, Laura, Ariane, Marcy, and you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that should be fun. The guys don't have anything, Peter, right?
No, the guys have never had anything. You know, guys just don't do lunch very well.
Some
Which, you know,
cigars.
yeah, and then you worry,
Scotch and
is
cigars.
anyone sober? Are we asking somebody to come to a bar with it? And I mean, it gets complicated quickly.
That sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Okay, I'll take you to a bar.
Yeah, let's do it.
Melissa, what's it been like working with the cast and the camaraderie and their support, saying they're so happy to see you get nominated and all of that?
I mean, it just means so much to me. And honestly, I was talking to someone yesterday and I feel like, I mean, I'm so honored to be nominated, but the nomination really is like, I feel like it's a collaborative effort. Like, it's not just me, it's like all the hard work that we all put in together. Like, I couldn't have done it without, I mean, the support of my castmates and the writing and the directing and just really everyone on set. It really is a team effort. And I mean, I say this all the time, but like working with Bryton and Mishael, like they make you like step up and be the best version of yourself, the best acting that you can possibly do. And so like, I feel like just having that energy around you when you're working is you can't even explain it, because and I feel that way about everyone on our cast, but we all like strive to make each other better. And my name might be on the nomination, but I really feel like it really is just such a collaborative effort. Like I couldn't have done it with everyone at work.
So this year the Emmys are live again. We're actually having an event. It's actually in person. It's not virtual. That means everybody has to dress up. So do you like the process of girls finding a dress and guys dressing up, or is it you hate it?
I love it.
Me too. I love it. So
My mom is in town right now. We've been searching for dresses. It's so much fun.
I love a tuxedo. Love
I
it.
know you do. You always look sharp in a tuxedo. Jason, do
always
you
love a
like
tuxedo.
getting dressed up for it or no?
No, I mean, I love it. You know, I mean, most of the people here, young or old, we've been in the business for a while. So you get to see friends again. You get to see people you worked with in the past. Like that's all. It's a great night, and I'm very excited to see everyone again and get everyone dressed up and have a blast. It's a wonderful night for our industry for sure. I really enjoy it.
Just want to pick the right dress. I think there's anxiety a little bit for me, and then it's like, God, if I find the right one, then I'll feel good. So,
Tosha, comfortable shoes.
comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
I can't wear my heels. Oh no.
That's
Yeah, I mean, that's what men
comfortable
say.
heel. Comfortable heel.
Comfortable heels. Okay.
Something.
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Well, thank you all so much for taking some time and all to come together here today so we could celebrate the nominations of The Young and the Restless. You've all done such beautiful work this past year, and I'm so glad you each received nominations, and you can watch them on the 49th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards on CBS on June 24th, and weekdays on The Young and the Restless on CBS. I will see you guys hopefully next month. Much love to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for having us, Michael.